guys? This is Jeff here with another episode of 5 Minute Murder. As you can see, this week we are back in the Scorpion Lair studios for the show. Last weekend I was at Origins up in Columbus, and it was an incredible weekend. Lots of people got to check out the game, and we ended up getting voted for runner-up for art and design, which was incredible. I never thought that we would win awards and be part of that when, we created this whole thing, and it's just been fantastic. So anyway, we're going to pick a card. We're going to get started. We're going to do some 5 Minute Murder. And if you haven't picked up a copy of the game, make sure you go to scorpionlairgames.com and you go pick up a copy. Make sure you get one and play it, pick up some expansions because they're fantastic. If you get the World of Serial Killers, we now have that in mass production, so it ships immediately, which is something we did not have before. So I'm going to pick a card. We're going to get going. Oh, baby, this is a big one here. So today we got the killer clown, John Wayne Gacy. I'm surprised we haven't done him before, but there is a lot here. We're going to start the timer. I'm going to read this off, and we're going to go. So, there is no timer because, they keep hashtagging no timer. So there's no timer. I'm just going to go, and we'll see where we get, as I'm already like a minute and a half in. So, John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17th, 1942, and was executed on May 10th, 1994. He assaulted, tortured, and murdered at least 33 males between the ages of 14 and 21. All of his known murders were committed inside of his house. His victims were brought to his address by force or deception. Most of his victims were murdered either by asphyxiation or strangulation with a makeshift garrote. Gacy buried 26 of his victims in the crawl space of his home. He was executed by lethal injection on May 10th, 1994. So, that is a very, very brief overview of John Wayne Gacy. He is one of the more famous cases out there. Many, many movies and documentaries have been done on him. There was a recent documentary that just came out that was very, very interesting. I watched that. And I know several people that were or are connected to the case. I know Bob Motta Jr., who is the son of Bob Motta Sr., who was Gacy's defense attorney. So he does an incredible podcast that you need to check out called The Defense Diary. Season 1 is all about Gacy and the tapes that his dad gave him. He found out some incredible things during that whole time that he was researching and, interviewing people for the podcast. He is now in his second season where he's doing another case that he worked on himself, and his dad was co-counsel for that one because he's also a defense attorney. And I'm also good friends with John Borowski, who is currently working on a documentary on Gacy, which should be incredible. John is a great documentarian. He really tries to give all of the information and allow you to decide the truth. And he takes it from every different angle that he can find. And he's going to be doing a mini-series on that. But John Wayne Gacy is a crazy, crazy case of this guy who was just like, he was a pillar of his community, right? He owned several businesses. He was a member of the, what is it called now? I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, the organization that he was a member of. He was also pretty active in the Democratic Party. There's all those pictures of him and Rosalind Carter and, all of these different things that he had done. And he was really, well thought of until, of course, they found bodies in his crawl space and until, they started, investigating these missing kids. And, Gacy, I know speaking with John, he mentioned that, there's all this talk about the smell. And what he found through his studying is that there was no smell. That they never smelled anything. So the first time that they came into the house, when they went in and were looking for evidence and stuff, they didn't smell anything in the house. It's why they didn't push any further. And then, of course, we know later on that there was, that they got, they said that they found a receipt, the one that was placed in Robert Piest's jacket from his co-worker at the pharmacy in the photo lab. And they said that they found that, and that enabled them to get the second search warrant and go into the house. And then that's when they go into the crawl space and they find the bodies and they start pulling them out. And if you listen to Defense Diaries, there is the presupposition that that was actually planted, that was not actual evidence that was found. And, it's crazy because the truth is that it's good that Gacy was caught, because he would have never stopped, right? And, there's all these ideas. Did he work alone? How could he have drug all those bodies into the crawl space and dug all those trenches? And, I don't know that we'll ever know the answers to that. I personally believe that, probably he had some of his people dig the holes. I think they may have had some suspicions that, that he was doing something, but who's going to ask? Friends are disappearing. Other people that work for him are disappearing. Nobody's going to ask any questions. So, they do what they do. He buries the bodies, covers them with the lie. And, apparently there's very, very little smell, a very light, musty odor if you're in the crawl space. So it's a crazy case. This guy would, bring these boys home, offering them jobs and things like that. And he would take them home and, he'd pretend to wrestle with them. And he'd inevitably try to get them in handcuffs, or he'd play the handcuff trick, and he'd put them in handcuffs, and then he would show them the rope trick and strangle them to death. There's talk that the first murder was self-defense. At least that's what Gacy says, that he woke up and the kid had a knife and was standing there over the bed. But the truth is, the kid may have just been making him breakfast, and he killed him because of that. And we don't know. We don't know if there were bodies up at the house in Des Plaines. There is all kinds of things. And then there are still 6 people that are unidentified connected to the Gacy case that we don't even know who they are, that the families are still trying to figure out if it was their loved one. So it is an unbelievable case, and it will be one of those that goes down in the annals of history. If you go down to Savannah, Georgia, or go up to Chicago, there's the Graveface Museum. I've been to the one in Chicago. Ryan Graveface owns it, and he has the largest collection of Gacy stuff in the whole world. Like, he has paintings, he has letters, and he does a bunch of stuff too. So, just amazing case. If you have time to check it out, dig in a little bit deeper, there is so much there. Check out Defense Diaries, check out John Borowski and all of his documentaries. He's got Albert Fish, he's got Carl Panzram, he's got H.H. Holmes. He did the show, Serial Killer Culture TV. He did that. All of that stuff is up on Amazon Prime. There's all kinds of places where you can watch that streaming. So go and check it out. Incredible guys. But thank you guys for joining us for another 5-minute murder. I think we're up to like 8 minutes or something. Sorry, I apologize. Check it out. All the stuff we have coming up. We've got so many things coming down the pike. The Mass Murderers expansion is going to be releasing on 8/1. I'm busy working on that. I've got somebody doing a cool Kickstarter video for me. And so we've got all kinds of things. We might have a little Route 666 show coming up here soon. The ladies have been pitching that to me, and it may be a reality. I'm just saying. We have talked about it a little bit. So come, be ready, check that out. Also, check out my show on the Good Wives Network. If you really want to deep dive into all of the true crime and sit here and spend an hour or so with me and listen to the whole story, hit up the Good Wives Network on either Roku or Amazon Fire TV and check it out. They've got all kinds of great programming, all kinds of great shows on there. I'm just one of them. So, check it out and give us some reviews and love what we're doing and follow us. and consider donating to that to the Good Wives Network. They keep putting out great programming. But yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you next week for another 5-Minute Murder.